Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In case you couldn't tell, I just made coffee, so we're ready to go and get into this. You know I always need my caffeine to start my videos. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, please take a second to hit that button down below. It helps your girl out, and I'd love for you guys to join my crochet family, and let's get this video started. If you couldn't tell, I've picked up some stuff. I can't help myself. It feels like I just posted my April yarn haul like not too long ago, but technically it is May. So welcome to my May yarn haul. All right. I meant to film this yarn haul earlier this morning, and of course, right as I'm trying to film, I cannot find some of the things that I previously bought at Joann's. So guess who had to go back out to Joann's? Me, this girl. Anyways, it was kind of beneficial anyways because, you know, I picked up more yarn. Who would have guessed? So the first thing I wanted to show you guys in my yarn haul video is one of the next projects that I plan on making probably starting tomorrow. A week back, I went ahead and picked out two different shades of my favorite Big Twist yarn. The Big Twist yarn is one of those yarns that I like to use for almost any project. It's a pretty thick and soft yarn, so I like to use this mainly for sweaters. You can definitely use this for blankets, but I actually picked up these two different shades because I believe my next project is going to be a bandeau top. But my first skein is just in the color white, and my second one, what is this color? And this is in the shade cream. Oh, let me read you the facts real fast, okay? So this is the Big Twist acrylic yarn. It is labeled at 380 yards. It is a medium for worsted weight yarn, and the suggested hook size is a 5 mil. And for this, I would agree. And I've used the Big Twist yarn time and time again, and I would definitely say that a 5 mil hook is perfect for this type of yarn. But I picked up this yarn because I believe my next project is going to be a very simple and basic cropped bandeau. But to add a little bit of spice to it, I picked up just a little bit of embroidery thread. But here's some of the shades that I picked up earlier today. And I don't know if I plan on using all of them for the bandeau, but I picked up the embroidery thread with the intention of hand stitching on some really cute flowers on top of the bandeau. And this is also the reason why I picked out a very plain shade for my bandeau, is because I want my embroidery thread to pop and stand out against the white background. I am not great at stitching by hand by any means. I'd say I'm pretty average at stitching by hand, but I think this is actually gonna lend more towards the top anyways. I don't want the flowers to be very detailed at all. So once I finish out my white bandeau, more along the top section of the top, I want to add on those little flowers. And if you guys are interested in seeing that video, it is probably going to be coming out before this one, so I'll link it here in case it is. Since summer is coming up, I'm trying to get more onto that colorful, vibrant trend. So I'm trying to branch out a little bit and use more of these brighter colors. For my tutorial, I will be crocheting with my white yarn, but I think for a fun little project on the side, I want to try to knit with this tan color. Obviously here on my channel, crochet is my go-to hobby, but every now and again, I do like to switch up to knitting. Knitting is very therapeutic. Since I'm not very skilled with knitting, I do try to refine my skills off camera. I would say that I am a little bit of a perfectionist, so I do try to perfect my knitting skills and just kind of level up a little bit. It can never hurt to try to improve your skills and get better at what you do. And in time, if I can become a more skilled knitter, I can hopefully put out more knitting tutorials for you guys. So stay tuned, you never know what's coming up on this channel. And I believe I quickly showed these to you earlier, but the second thing I picked up from Joann's is this Lion brand Nubu. I don't know, have you guys heard of this before? And I noticed that they also had something else called Trubu. I believe that the Trubu line said that it was rayon from bamboo, and this Nubu yarn is stated as 100% lyocell. I would have to say that the texture of this Nubu yarn is very like silky, cashmere feeling. Let me just read you the details before I get into it. The Nubu yarn is listed as 157 yards. It's also stated as a medium for worsted weight yarn, and the suggested hook size on here is a 5.5 mil. To be honest with you guys, I would not call this yarn a worsted weight. To me, this isn't even a DK weight. I think that this yarn is so thin that this verges on a sport weight yarn. I don't know why they listed this as a worsted weight. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna give you guys a comparison right now. I know I came pretty close right now, but bear with me. Like I mentioned earlier, the Big Twist yarn is stated as a worsted weight yarn, as well as the Nubu yarn. Both of these yarns are listed as a number 4 worsted weight yarn, and you guys can see the difference in diameter, right? Like, these yarns are not the same. The yarn that I picked up is in the shade Hazelnut. Like I was saying, I don't normally go for these very thin type of yarns because most of the work that I do, I would say, leans more towards the chunky side. A lot of the tutorials or the products that I come out with, I'd say, are very chunky, thick clothing. Of course, when it comes to making cardigans and crop tops and sweaters, you want to use a very thick, chunky yarn. I actually wanted to attempt to make a matching bikini set out of this. For crocheting smaller pieces that are much more delicate, like a bikini top and bottom, you need something that's a little bit more fine knit like this yarn. My boyfriend and I are trying to get into the habit of hitting the beach a little bit more often. So I thought I would give it a go, and maybe by the next time that we hit the beach, I will have a very cute matching set. But I thought, what would be cuter than sporting my own bikini at the beach? So keep your fingers crossed for me. If this comes out successful, you'll probably see a post of it up on my Instagram. And by the way, if any of you have recreated one of my tutorials, please tag or DM me on Instagram at Erin_Reiko. I would love to see your work. At this point, I know you guys see a common theme in my videos, and of course, I will always save my favorite and best yarn for last. Just look, just for a second, guys, just look at what I've picked up. Oh my goodness. On my last yarn haul, I showed you guys a hand-dyed yarn that I absolutely fell in love with. And ever since I bought that hand-dyed yarn, I cannot get enough. Picking up my basic and simple yarn at Joann's and Michael's is great and all, but hand-dyed yarn is on an entirely different level, and I'm obsessed, if you guys couldn't tell. A few days ago, I went to a yarn store called Needles and Niceties, and they're located out in San Bernardino. But of course, I have a few other video projects in the works, and believe it or not, I actually needed to pick up some fingering. And believe it or not, I actually had to pick up some fingering. What is it? Fingering? I believe all 3 of the yarns that I picked up are a weight 1 or fine knit yarn. I only really needed to pick up 2 hanks of yarn, but you guys aren't new to my channel here. Come on, you saw it coming, okay? I had to pick up 3. And of course, they're all earth toned. Like I've mentioned before here on my channel, I usually pick out very neutral and plain colors because they're so easy to work with and so versatile to wear. You know, when you pick out a black, white, or tan yarn, you can wear those tops or those cardigans with almost anything. I've decided that I want to start picking out more colorful and bright yarns. And again, summer is coming up, so what better time than to pick out the most beautiful shades. Anyways, let me get you guys the details of this yarn. All right, for this first yarn, it is by Malabrigo Yarns. It is approximately 100 grams or 210 yards. And this yarn is 50% merino wool and 50% baby alpaca. And the suggested crochet hook size for this is a 4 mil. And for this yarn, I might even go thinner than a 4. I'd probably go for a 3.5 or 3. This next yarn is also a Malabrigo yarn. This yarn is approximately 420 yards. And the suggested hook size for this yarn is a 2.25 mil. This yarn is also listed as a pure superwash merino wool. All 3 of these yarns are just so squishy and soft, and just they feel luxurious. Baby alpaca, superwash merino wool. What are these words? What do they mean? I don't know, but the quality is extreme. And for this very last hank, again, it is by Malabrigo Yarns, and it is approximately 440 yards, and the suggested hook size again is a 2.25 mil. And this is also listed as a superwash merino wool yarn. In case I haven't mentioned it yet, here on my channel, I actually want to start incorporating a new series where I pick out pay for and test someone else's crochet pattern. And it's kind of gonna tie into my Crochet With Me series, but I've been seeing so many creative and beautiful crochet patterns available for purchase, so it kind of makes me curious, how easy are their patterns to read and follow, and will I end up with the same outcome that they did? Even though I've been crocheting for years, I actually do not read or follow that many crochet patterns. I'm more of a make it up as you go, or kind of just create my own pattern. So I kind of want to start testing out others' creations and see the outcome that I end up with. So to tie it back in, that is what I picked up these hanks of yarn for. Hopefully in the next few weeks, I will be posting my first ever pattern test here on my channel. The top is this beautiful, almost mermaid-like Ariel top. And the way that she crocheted her top, it kind of looks like seashells for her bralette. The first thing that she mentions is that she uses a sock yarn to crochet her entire top. And it is very unusual for me to work with such a fine yarn, but that's what this channel is all about, is trying out new things and new techniques, and of course trying out new yarn. So this pretty much wraps up my May yarn haul. I know that it's only the first week of May, so there's a strong chance that I will post a second yarn haul later on this month because I have no self-control. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and stopping by to say hi. I really appreciate all of you guys that come here to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.